Hey everybody, it's Emily the Crazy Worm Lady. I'm here today with our to blend or not to blend bins. And I see my dowel is down up here, so I must have flipped this bin around. I do not recall if this was the whole or the blended, but down here would have been our frozen stuff. So stinks once I dump it out, but not seeing a whole lot of action around it either. I'm thinking this must have been the blended, but we'll find out in a second. Yeah, that smells strong. So yeah, let's cover that bit up, although you see there's a lot of worms beneath it. Interesting. Okay, so there are worms in the area there. I'll just leave that here for now. So down here would be the fresh stuff. And yes, this was the chopped, blended, whatever you want to call it. And again, doesn't seem to be a whole lot of action. These, root vegetables, cruciferous vegetables, take a long time to break down. That's why I thought it would be a good thing to experiment with. So, I'm going to put these back over here, cover it up really well because it stinks. And guess I can knock some of this bedding out over here as well. Let's see if all of our carrots are gone from 2 weeks ago. This was where the frozen carrots were. I don't see any. And down here would be where the fresh carrots were. And in fact, we still do have some pieces. So the worms have a little ways to go yet. So let's take a look at the whole scrap and then we'll decide whether or not we're gonna feed these guys up or not. So here's the whole scrap bin. Seem to be having a party in the rags up top here. Wonder what has them so excited. Guess what? It's the cabbage. So this, the dowel again, I'm flipped around. This is the whole frozen piece of cabbage. So it's interesting that they're like right immediately around it, but they're not in it exactly. I wonder if we have the same deal where there are some beneath. Not even really seeing a whole lot beneath, but they were immediately above it. So that's fascinating to me. Doesn't really go with the theme of how I typically see them eat, but I'm going to cover that back up. So down here would be our fresh, non-frozen cabbage. And look at the size in comparison. It's expanding, I guess, as the worms are getting to work with it, but it's still not at all soft. It's crunchy. And I see some worms, though, actually. Let me try to get this up under the light around the edges. But I think this is going to take a really long time to break down. But isn't this fascinating how much this one has swollen up and kind of nothing's really happening with it, because it was sitting in our tin, but it expanded so much that it's not even remotely in the tin anymore. Very few worms in the tin or around the tin at all. So let me put this back down here. Throw some more bedding over it. And I just want to make sure I wasn't missing any of it because this piece is so much smaller. This one that was frozen. Yeah, it's fascinating. Okay, so I don't really think that these bins need to be fed today because there's still a decent amount of food in both of them. So down here would have been our frozen whole carrots. Sorry guys, my brain goes to mush. Trying to keep track of what I'm looking at. Not seeing any of the frozen whole carrot bits. But down here would have been the whole, unfrozen or fresh. And look. Still not much of anything happening with these. So, I'm going to bury these back up. I'm going to top both of these bins off with some dry newspaper. The castings are really nice, but it does feel a hair damp to me. And that will kind of help even out the moisture. And I'm just going to top both of these bins with a nice sprinkling of eggshell. I don't know, I have this recurring dream about not having enough grit and getting string of pearls or protein poisoning for my worms. So I always add extra when I think about it. So we will leave this for another week. And then I'm thinking we might start to just feed these bins regular food and let them finish up composting, because I think it's been pretty obvious that the blending and freezing makes a huge difference as far as the breakdown and how fast that happens. So let me know what you think. I will be back with you guys next week for an update. I hope you have a great day.